Okay, welcome to part 10 of Before Deciding on a Career Choice, which is part of the Inner Selves Management series for the Motorhomers channel. And so, my name, of course, is Predada. I'm the Beyond, Above, Deep Black Director of the Illuminati. I'm still undercover, but since I'm not undercover the way I was, where no one knew I was in the Illuminati up until 2017, I am since then considered the overt director of the Illuminati. There are many Beyond, Above, Deep Black directors, but I'm the only overt one, at least on this world. And so, where I left off in the other video, which I took a couple of moments to think of, my nose itches like I want to sneeze, and I probably will end up sneezing. And I'll try to pause it before then, because then I will have to blow my nose, and that's just nasty. I'll get this tissue ready, whatever you want to call it, ready. Where I left off in the other video was when I was saying that, you look at the way the world is constructed, everything is designed so that people are just kept in these certain places over here to create communities, cities, states, counties, and everything. All of that so you can be taxed, so that someone can absorb your funds, so that you'll spend them with certain people. Because think about it, you live in a certain area. They only build certain stores there. You're not in charge of what they build there. You're not in charge of who your landlords are, who the real estate people are, who the people are who build the properties, who the people are who build the corporations around that support the different industries which allow you to live there. And so all these people, it's like a giant cabal of people and organizations that say, you take that area over there, I'm going to take this area over here, I'm going to take this area, and that's the entire world. And they're able to keep track of and raise and educate, because the educational system is all tied to it too. The same people who control and run the educational system, who create the educational system, are the same people who own the companies, same people control the governments, same people, so on and so forth. Real estate, control the water, control the food, all of it. No one thinks about these things. As you start to get older, you start to notice them, but people underneath you, the young kids, youth there's got to be an expression for this. I want to say something that's not completely messed up to say, but just on point. The youth don't know, and they don't really care, because they're too busy trying to do young things. And that's not a perfect way to say it, but it's kind of right there. Young people aren't thinking about what's been going on for zillions of years before they got here, and how they're being played, and what they should be doing to not get played, and what they should be doing just in general, because it should be something that they should be doing, which is supposed to be the right thing. They don't care. As long as they're having fun, as long as they're feeling good, as long as they're looking good, as long as they're getting what they want, they don't care. Not until they start getting older and nobody cares about them, because they're starting to look old and act old and not be as malleable as they were when they were young. Then all of a sudden it's, why don't you like me anymore? Why don't I get the money I'm supposed to get anymore? Why? And so now they start researching. And then it's like, oh man, this place is crazy. If you really think about it, it shouldn't be like this. Now all of a sudden it matters. And everybody who suffered, like people like me who suffered the whole time, they don't care. And even then they don't care. They don't say, you know what, you were suffering, yo, my bad, I got your back 100% from here on out. We're going to ride until the wheels fall off. No, they don't do that. They still stay away from you. You're nothing and a nobody to them, but they're different than you because they were somebody. Like you wasn't ever somebody. Or like you weren't somebody greater than them or at least equal to them. They're a somebody. You're a nobody, and they're just like this because these things happen to them. Not like they happened to you. It was your fault they happened to you. For me, no, somebody did this to me. Now I'm older and I got to start researching. I find out the world's a screwed up place and I want to correct it. But it's people like you who are poor in this, and this. You're at fault. Somehow, it's your fault because you were here before me. So it's not the people with money that were there before them. It's you were here before me and you're no good. It's like, you have a rotten apple in the room and it stinks and the room stinks and is messed up because of you, the rotten apple, not because somebody put you there and made you rotten. But that's still youthful thinking. They still aren't old enough or smart enough or whatever it is. Like I said, I don't want to say that the youth aren't smart, but it's whatever it is that's lacking. They still don't have it to say, hey, you're the victim there. You've always been the victim. You were the victim before you even walked this earth, and it's my job, especially learning, and it should have been my job back then to come along and grab you, and we lift you up and put you back on equal footing with me, and then we fix all this together. And you enlighten me because you know stuff that I don't want to know. You know stuff that I need to know, and you know stuff that I could never know other than you haven't been like that. And so on. And because you was probably just smarter than me in the first place. Don't you like it when people either get drunk, high, or they get tired and they start talking a certain way? You're like, that's the real one right there. That's where he's real. I like that guy right there. Okay. That's where we're at in part 10 here. And so 7 minutes and 6 seconds in. So you say to yourself, as I've seen it in videos where people are kind of young. They're, in college still. I saw a couple of years ago, I saw a few couples where they were like, oh yeah, we're just about to graduate college and we're trying to make a decision on how to live. We heard about this bus life stuff and all of this. And we're trying to say to ourselves, hey, we're not going to get married yet, but we want to get maybe a bus together and travel around and be able to work from it and then sell. Maybe we'll figure somewhere a piece of property to buy. By that time we might be ready to get married, so on and so forth. And in a way, yeah, that's how the youth should be thinking. That should have been their thoughts when they were in high school, middle school, grade school, whatever. But okay, so they're thinking that way now instead of 60 years from now or 40 or 50 years from now. But there are groups of people out there who are doing the thinking. And they're looking at the world and they know the world isn't the way it's supposed to be. And that certain other things have to happen for it to become what it's supposed to be. It's not as simple as people just going and buying some buses and trucks and stuff and making them into motorhomes and live in them and travel and work in them and look for other properties in them, cheaper locations to live, so on and so forth, or other countries to live in, or whatever the case is. It's more complex. It's as complex and more complex than the fact that we tear up, destroy, and construct, destroy, and construct, as if that process and as if the construction is on this hierarchy, when it is actually no different than someone destroying parts of their body because they want to do something else, or that's not good enough, or somebody destroying someone's life just because they could do it, just because they don't like that person or group of people, and they're maybe in that particular place right over there, and they want that place over there. They want it for them. They want it to, or at least they want that place to be like they want it to look. You're here 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years, and there are whole societies and continents, cultures that have been a particular way that were working good. Not the bad ones, but the ones that were working good for zillions of years. And you've been here 20 years. I don't like that. I want to change it. And that's supposed to mean something. Like you're supposed to be, you or what you're thinking is supposed to be important in that regard, or to that level, or you know what I'm trying to say. And so, when you look around this world, you see that this is all messed up. Everything is all messed up. And you should have at least part of you inside of you that wants to fix it. Very people, I believe, do. 99.9999% don't care. Whatever. They just going along with the flow or becoming part of the flow. They don't care what it destroys. Even if they don't get to be old. Yeah, and people are like, oh, everybody's got to die. Oh, there's cigarettes or this or that. People are just so messed up in the head. It's ridiculous. And destroying everything else around them. Everybody else around it just don't care. They don't care about themselves, so they definitely don't care about you or anybody or anything else. And so, when you're someone who decides, hey, I don't want to be a part of this construct anymore, I want to break away from it, then you're like, okay, well, I get this bus and I go out here and I need to be changed. There needs to be other things about myself that changes, other aspects of my life. And so you could almost say, with all of these videos that I've made for the series up so far, that this is the beginning of it. This is like the first, if you could condense it, which you can't, all the things I've said, if you watched all of the videos so far, all of the things I've said, you can't condense into, 2 or 3 minutes, or even into 2 videos. Where if it's 2 or 3 minutes, you say, okay, well, it's been 11 minutes so far, so the first 2 or 3 minutes of this video was the first 9 videos I did, because I think this is number 10, I believe. I'm trying to keep track. I got it written down, but I'm not so sure. I'm going to have to double check. So this should be 10 we're in. And so this is the part where you say, hey, okay, in order for me to do this bus life thing, what do I need to do to be making money? So now I've watched videos. I've seen couples, I've seen regular people where they say, oh, I sold my house and right now I'm living off the savings from saving my house. Savings from saving my house. Somehow it's got to make sense somewhere. I'm living off the savings from selling my house. Or, I got out of my apartment and I was working at this particular job and, they said I couldn't go remote. So I just, I resigned or whatever. And so I'm living off the savings I had from that. And I know eventually I'm going to have some type of income. I'm trying to speak proper now. So you probably noticed that because I'm getting tired. Otherwise I'd be speaking real slurred. You'd be like, what is he even saying? I'm fighting my own tiredness. Okay. So I know I've got to work. I got to get income coming in somehow. I haven't quite figured that part out completely, but for the moment I'm good. It's like, no, you're not good. Okay, so I guess this is the part where I kick in. Like I said, what I was going to say about my experience. And that was in the first video, right? But I'm not even right there yet with the whole my experience thing, which is beautiful in a way because I would love for this to be the 13 videos so far. So I can just go ahead and upload them, eat up the rest of my gigs before my month ends, and I lose them anyway, because that's what it is, right? Isn't that a shame? Somebody used to have rollovers, Singular. I think it was Singular used to do rollovers. Anyway, so now I'm right there at the part where I say, okay, well, listen. If you sell your house and try to live off of that money or some of those monies, even if we're talking about like 5 or 10,000, you're trying to live off that until you figure out something else you want to do, that's not good. If that's your frame of mind before you get ready to sell your house, that's not good. I want to say it's horrible. It's maybe not quite horrible, but it's really bad. Here's why. It's just like when your parents or other people used to tell you before you even started working, before you had your first job, never quit a job until you have another job. I've learned through life, you don't even quit the first job once you got another job. You're supposed to be building, amassing wealth, reputation, skills, experience. You see how corporations operate. A corpse is a body. It's typically attributed to someone who's not living anymore. But if we're going to say it's a body, which it is, a corporation, then it has the heart, liver, lungs, bones, these, all these different things that have to work together. And in birth, when a baby's made, when a baby, the cells start splitting, it starts forming, which was already there in a manner of speaking, but it starts forming like the heart, the liver, the intestines, the brain, the skull, the skin, all these different things start forming and then developing, right? And so you don't see it become a heart and then it goes away and then it's the liver, then it goes away, then it's to this, and the last thing that's left is like an intestine. Some people are walking intestines. I had to make that joke. Some people are just walking intestines. And that's pretty much all they're good for, is just eating. And, and so, but the idea is supposed to be one thing builds off of the next because they all need each other. And it's like an evolutionary process where within your body knows, hey, I need this thing for this to work right. Oh, because that needs to work right, I need this thing. And this will work better if I add this. And this will, kind of like what they do with cars, the newer cars, but they're not really doing that. They're doing it to make more money and make it more difficult for you to work on them under the guise of making something that's more advanced. But no, advanced is UFOs, which they've been had, but they want to make this progression of making money off of people and removing people's abilities to stop them from making money off of you from the mechanics of things. But so, when you look at your life and your work, a lot of people can say, I used to do this, I used to do this, I used to do this. And they shouldn't have to say that. They should be able to say, I do all of these things. For this was the first thing I've ever done. That's what I've been doing for the longest. But this new thing I just learned yesterday or 5 minutes ago or a couple of seconds ago before we even met, that's what I'm working on next. That's a corporation. That's a cabal. That's an organization. That's money. That's where you get older and you say, hey, I can retire in a manner of speaking because of AI. These kids these days, they could retire literally, seriously, by the time they hit middle school, high school, if they played their cards right. I never really understood that expression. I never really sleepy talk. I never really understood that expression until I said it just now according to this. Playing your cards right. You get dealt these cards and they're all worth allegedly different values. You don't take the cards and say, oh, I like the king or I like the queen. That's the best one in it. Hey guys, look, I have a queen. No. A series of cards laid down, seemingly less important than other cards by themselves or a number of those other cards against yours, can beat them. Like, I forgot what a royal flush is, but it's a number of cards where it's not just a king, queen, and an ace. There are cards in there where alone they wouldn't be worth anything up against the hand that someone else has. But together, they speak to something that's grand and varied. And that's important. 18 minutes, it seemed like the time just all of a sudden jumped up. And so 1 minute left in the 10. Okay, I guess it's like someone or something is dictating the Illuminati. I had to say it. Yo, the Illuminati is controlling everything he says and does. Yo, dog, you should watch his channel. That dude sold his soul the way he said he was born in. So if he didn't sell his soul, did they already have it? Let's ask him. We don't buy souls, y'all. We don't sell souls. We ask you to give us your soul. The same way someone in Christ would ask you to give your life to Christ, your time and your efforts. It's the same way. So going into this next video, 10 seconds left, right? Going into this next video, we'll be discussing it from the part of the varied hand of things you've learned and applying that to going into bus life and stuff.